We have a major update on the future of Ring of Honor Wrestling on TV, as it looks like they have an offer for a streaming deal for Ring of Honor television. We're going to talk about everything we know about this situation. When could we see this deal come into place? What exactly did the Ring of Honor champion have to say about this? And what realistically could be on the table for what at one point was the king of the indies in professional wrestling? We'll talk about that. We're also going to get into an update on AEW All In Texas ticket sales. Where do ticket sales stand right now? What does this mean about AEW as a business? And why people who are talking about panic when it comes to these ticket sales probably need to calm down. All that, much more coming up right here in this video. So be sure to leave a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you get notified whenever a new video is released. All right, so first things first, let's get right into the AEW Ring of Honor verse and talk about this potential Ring of Honor streaming deal. There has been speculation for a while now that we could see Ring of Honor potentially go on to a Max platform, maybe even on television through this WBD partnership that AEW has, but it's been met with a lot of pushback as we have not seen any of that come into place or materialize. It does not seem like right now AEW is about to announce anything, but we do have insight into what is on the table, including an offer that was allegedly made to Tony Khan for a streaming rights deal for Ring of Honor. Here is current ROH World Champion Chris Jericho talking about this. Quote, "I think the fact Tony Khan put the title on me is because Chris Jericho, as Ring of Honor World Champion, streaming platforms might pay more attention to it. I know Tony is working on that and has a couple of offers. I don't know if they are offers he wants. I think he wants to try and expand those offers." So Jericho seemingly letting the cat out of the bag and claiming that currently AEW does have offers for Ring of Honor television. And it would be no surprise to anyone if there were offers out there to the effect of potentially Tubi or one of these other kind of free-to-use platforms having Ring of Honor as additional content on their platforms. But I do think that for Tony Khan, it is important to make sure that when Ring of Honor does appear on a streaming platform, AEW, Ring of Honor, whatever entity we were talking about here, is benefiting in the best way possible. And part of that is making sure that you are in a position to ask for as much money as possible, potentially look forward past whatever the first 6 months may be, and maybe increase the amount of revenue that you are bringing in. And the best way to do that would be to make sure that your product looks hot now and show potential streaming partners what exactly you're capable of. Now, I want to say this. Right now, the Ring of Honor, Honor Club right now, the platform that they currently use for the Ring of Honor Weekly TV does not have many subscribers at all. I believe it's right around or less than 100,000. So not necessarily the biggest following there. But regardless, you want to show that you can kind of bring viewers in. And if you were to go to potentially like a Tubi, which obviously is partnered with Fox, that could offer you the ability to show your product and for free, and maybe bring in some new fans who may otherwise not pay the $10 per month that Honor Club provides you or makes you pay. So in that respect, I think there could be like one of those deals on the table. For AEW, though, I think their obvious choice would probably be have it all on Max. And that could be an extra drawing point for the Max platform. You have not only the entire AEW library, which at some point will be moved over on Max. They're slowly rolling it out. But you would also have access to all of the Ring of Honor content and license that out to Max. You would also be able to create like other things like mashups, like the greatest hits of Bryan Danielson, the greatest hits of CM Punk, the greatest hits of whatever famous wrestler, Tyler Black, right? All of that is in AEW's purview, and they are able to do that with, Tony Khan's acquisition of Ring of Honor. Like, it's all at your feet. It's just about, I think, finding the right deal. And my hope is that whenever this deal is announced, whether it's Tubi, whether it's, potentially a WBD property, maybe they end up getting on True TV. But again, WBD has always been somewhat hesitant, it seems like, to bring in Ring of Honor. And again, I don't know what exactly that's all about, but there's always been that hesitation of having too much integration outside of providing BR Live in the past, the ability to purchase Ring of Honor pay-per-views. That they've always been open to that. And in that respect, I guess they're only open to it to an extent. So we'll see what happens. Obviously, Ring of Honor, people have been wondering, like, hey, like, when is this finally going to happen? When are you going to be able to access Ring of Honor outside of the Honor Club platform, which, again, isn't necessarily the best interface, isn't necessarily the most captivating a way to watch. I think that's what people want to see. So we'll see what ends up happening there. There's a lot to be determined with the future of Ring of Honor in general, too. Like, is Tony Khan going to continue to be the one to book it? One of the biggest criticisms people have had is that they feel like they should probably have someone else be booking that show, as Tony should be mainly focused on what's going on Dynamite and Collision. That's a criticism that I fully agree with. So we'll see. Hopefully that opens up the door for that to happen. But we got to move on and talk about our second story. Let's get into AEW All In Texas. AEW's biggest show of the year is indeed coming to Globe Life Field in Arlington, Texas. They are looking to sell a boatload of tickets between now and July 12th. And let's check in on the progress they've made so far. The latest count, courtesy of WrestleTix, has them at just over 11,000 tickets sold, with the current setup at 18,140. So for those of you who may have paid attention to previous updates, they have been at that capacity setup for ever since they started, right around that 18,000 mark. And originally, the first ticket count that we saw was somewhere right around 9,900. And it seems like since then, they've sold up right around 1,000 tickets, give or take a few hundred. So that has all happened within the span of about a month. Obviously, if you are AEW, you want to get to that 18,000 number. I think you definitely want to get to at least the capacity you have now for this to be a healthy, for this to be considered, a healthy number. In my view, 20,000 is a healthy number for them for this sake. And there's going to be people who scoff at that or whatever. It's the reality of the business that they're in right now. AEW in the United States has not been selling out arenas, massive arenas, like the 20,000 seaters, to the effect that they did at one point in the past. But I also believe, and the facts and the numbers do point this out, that a lot of that perception that they were selling out things weekly like that, even at their height, was a bit overstated. Yes, in 2021, they had about 3 to 4 months where they were red hot. They were selling out 10,000-seat arenas. They had Grand Slam. They had the First Dance. They had All Out. They had multiple shows where they were having between 9 to 10,000 people show up. Yet, the average attendance for 2021 was still right around 5,000 to 6,000 per show for AEW. And if you look at what their average attendance now, it is a drop-off. There is no mistake about it. There's a significant drop-off. But they were never at the point where they were weekly, consistently throughout the year doing 10,000 seat arenas. That is, again, a misconception that people had. I don't know how they got it, but again, the numbers don't really bear that out. And given where their business is now in the United States, especially, I think 20,000 is a healthy number for them. Genuinely. That's not even me trying to blow smoke. It's not me trying to be pedantic or whatever. It's just the truth. If they're able to get more than that, that is fantastic. And I think their goal this year should be to make All In, to make as many people as possible who watch All In, build it up to be the biggest thing possible. Build it up, market the shit out of it, have Kenny Omega versus Okada announced 2 months in advance, have the women's match that Mercedes Moné is going to have announced months in advance. Let people know. Do the WrestleMania build. Have your Casino Gauntlets, your Owen Hart Cups, whatever you're going to have those decided at Double or Nothing so that by the time All In comes around, or by the time that show is over, we know what to expect for those big main event matches at All In. That is what's going to help you sell tickets. And that is what's going to drive excitement for the show. And for the people who are watching the show at home, who may have wanted to travel but weren't sure about it, you have to have them leaving that show having the biggest FOMO possible, so that they know that next year, when AEW delivers a pay-per-view for All In, which I believe is going to be in Wembley Stadium, actually, again, that might be a canvas show for them. So we'll see what happens. Obviously, they got to start marketing this now. They also have a bunch of pay-per-views in between to sell, between Double or Nothing, which we don't know where that's going to be at, Dynasty, which they just announced to be in Philadelphia, and the Revolution show in a couple of weeks, which is slated to be in the Staples Center in Los Angeles. Sorry, crypto.net.com arena, whatever that thing is. But regardless, they've got a couple of shows to do, but it's where they're at. It's the business they're in, and marketing, baby. They got to get on top of it. But guys, I want you guys to let me know what you think about this in the comment section below. How can AEW better market their product to you, for you to show up to these shows? Also, let me know what you guys think about the potential of an ROH streaming deal. Where would you want them to go? And what do you want to see out of the content that they got on there? Until next time, I'm Omer Q for Real Take Wrestling. Thank you so much for everyone who made it this far into the video. Love each and every one of you. Be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Might have already said that. I don't know. I don't remember. It's live TV, pal. Until next time, be happy, be healthy, and as always, keep it real.